My journey into money and soul. In service of a commitment bigger than any I ever thought I would make, my journey in fundraising and activism has taken me far and wide culturally, but it has also taken me deep into my own relationship with life. This arena of my relationship with money and with people who are dealing with their own relationship with money has been a place where I have come to understand some of the universal truths about money. I am moved by the struggle we all have with money. I now see that this arena in which we brush up against the hard realities of life can be the place where we develop a kind of spiritual practice in which we use the money that comes to us as an instrument of our intention and integrity. When I made my first contribution to the Hunger Project, it realigned my priorities. My financial life started to be more in alignment with my deep sense of self and soul. I began to have an experience of prosperity that was unrelated to any quantity of money or acquisitions. I could feel this alignment within myself, and I had done that through my use of money. That was the place where the tide turned in me. It was so surprising that money, this very thing I had used and seen others use to perpetuate accumulation, depletion, and making myself important with art and wine and stuff, ended up being the same instrument I eventually used to express my love for people and my affirmation of life, and to share my deepest dreams. Once that instrument or vehicle called money was in alignment with my soul, that was when the prosperity, joy, and sufficiency started to flourish. It wasn't in the money, but in its use as an instrument of soul. That is possible for everyone, not only on a personal level, but also on a family level, a cultural level, a society-wide. Lining money up with our soul, with our deepest dreams and highest aspirations, is the source of our prosperity, rather than simply having more of it to work with. Money used this way connects us to the whole of life, rather than money becoming an instrument that separates and fragments us from each other. That kind of prosperity is available to everyone, whether they are people with massive resources or people with moderate or fewer resources. Using money as a direct expression of one's deepest sense of self is a powerful, miraculous thing. It is a practice, however, and I'm still working on it. I waste money. I buy products that are part of the problem rather than part of the solution. I get excited about money and disappointed about money and frustrated and conflicted over money issues. But I am also on the path in a practice that I'm sharing with you because I believe it is useful and important in our time. I'm seeing that more and more of us are awake to our highest commitments, concerned about how we're living, and this book is an offering to contribute to that process that is taking place all around us now. The realization and sense of peace in the recognition that there is enough is not meant to disclaim the great needs of millions of people or of the whole segments of our society. I work each day in that brutal realm. However, the fundamental understanding that there is enough has allowed me to approach not only those challenges and those problems, but also my own life in a way that has opened up new relationships and new possibility at every turn. So I offer this as an every man and woman, every day, possible way of engaging in this arena of money, this flow that runs through every relationship, whether it is with our mother or father, husband, wife, aunts, cousins, friends, employer, employee. Money is never really absent, and we can use it as a mirror for understanding who we are and what we stand for. I also invite you to live a larger life, to see that when we really look at what we've got and let go of trying to accumulate more, we have the capacity for much greater lives than just getting and having. Everyone wants more than the good life for just themselves. They want the good life for all, and when you realize there is enough, you get in touch with that possibility. It becomes the natural outcome of shifting your context. It worked that way for me, and I've seen it work that way for many others around the world. The caterpillar and the butterfly. Our struggle around money and all the tension, fears, and excesses that go with it has a parallel in nature. Evolutionary biologist Elisabeth Sahtouris says that the caterpillar, at a certain point in its life cycle, becomes a voracious, overconsumptive glutton, consuming everything in sight and within reach. At this point in its evolution, it can eat hundreds of times its own weight, and the more it consumes, the more fat and sluggish it gets. At that same moment of developmental excess, inside the caterpillar, the imaginal cells begin to stir. Imaginal cells are specialized cells and in the minority, but when they connect with each other, they become the genetic directors of the metamorphosis of the caterpillar. At some point in the caterpillar's feeding frenzy stage, the imaginal cells usher in the process in which the overconsumptive caterpillar becomes the nutritive soup out of which the imaginal cells create the miracle of the butterfly. When I first heard this caterpillar-butterfly metaphor, I loved it because it gave me a way to see the world the way it is, even its state of voracious greed, as a kind of evolutionary phase. It is such a fitting metaphor for our time. When I look at the inspired, devoted, and brilliant people at work in so many ways to repair and nourish the world in families, communities, and sustainable enterprises everywhere on earth, I see the imaginal cells of our own transformation. That's us, people like me and people like you, people whose stories I've shared in this book, and people appreciating them, people creating new ways, seeing new possibilities. The fall of unsustainable structures in business, economics, politics, and government, the collapse of companies like WorldCom, Enron, and Tyco in recent years, and the unraveling of a corporate corruption could be the beginning of the voracious caterpillars becoming the nutritive soup from which will grow the miracle of the butterfly. In this world of turmoil and conflict, violence and retribution, I believe there are millions of people taking responsibility, not just for change, but also for transformation, for creating the miracle of the butterfly. We may be in the minority, but we are everywhere, and we are connecting with one another in Senegal, in Ethiopia, in Ecuador, and Afghanistan, in France, Sweden, Japan, and Germany, in Iowa, Michigan, New York, and California, even in Hollywood, in spectacular careers, and in the workaday world that keeps it all going. We are the hidden mainstream. We are the genetic directors of this living system. If we continue to connect with each other, we can create out of this gluttonous caterpillar the miracle of the butterfly. I challenge you to use your money, every dollar, every penny, every purchase, every stock, every bond, to voice this transformation. I challenge you to use the money that flows through your life, and it does flow through all of our lives, to express the truth and context of sufficiency. I challenge you to move the resources that flow through your life towards your highest commitments and ideals, those things you stand for. I challenge you to hold money as a common trust that we are all responsible for using in ways that nurture and empower us and all life, our planet, and all future generations. I challenge you to imbue your money with soul, your soul, and let it stand for who you are, your love, your word, and your humanity.